Welcome back to the Best Ball Happy Hour here at 4 for 4 Football. As always, I'm your host, John Daigle, joined by Ian Hartitz, who I believe, Ian, we tried to get in early, but we may have missed the same draft.
I want you to double up, John. I've done it several times. You can do it once.
All right, I'll do it.
The people are calling for it. Let's go.
Even though I'll probably, this is going to be a plus EV draft, first draft for everyone. And of course, Underdogs, Hayden Winks, fresh with preseason week 1 takes. Hayden, how's it going?
Good. I'm almost ready for week 1. You know, I'm done talking about the players. We have one more week of this, it seems like, and then it's Labor Day weekend. Drafts will be complete, and I'm ready for the in-season grind.
I'm just ready for week 1 routine more than anything, because it seems like we're already getting close to that routine, so we might as well just make it official.
Yeah.
Is every team going to fade preseason week 3? Is this the last week we have to worry about?
This is the last week we have to worry about.
Okay.
Yeah. The next one, absolutely.
Not that life isn't great. I'm just wondering, you know.
There are some teams I saw that were doing like week 1 and week 2 doesn't matter, then week 3. Then they're using like week 1 and week 3. So I don't know.
Fuck.
It'd be absolutely ridiculous, but whatever. What do I know?
All right, Daigle. So our main one's gonna be the one still filling.
Sure. Let's go ahead and Ian. So when do you want to enter this?
The one that has 3 spots. I'm in here.
You're in? Okay, I'm entering.
Yeah.
I'm entering right now.
Okay, go.
Thus, everyone in the chat, welcome back, Donovan. Go to the
BBM. Are you in?
Now. Yeah, I'm in.
Oh, thank God. Okay.
There's only one more spot to fill.
I know, bro. I was the first person in this one. That's how much I missed it by. And I thought we were gonna nail it this week because we responsibly even didn't open it up to the chat first. Not that I don't love the chat, but
so if that's the case, let me just do this window. And that way I can share. Yeah, I can both share this draft that I'm going that you're not in. No, this one's the one you're not in. And then this one's the one you're in. So I'll share the board on this one.
No one cares about your other drafts, bro.
I got 102. You got 104 in this one, actually. So guess what? Everyone's going to partake in this draft with me too. So I don't care. All right. Hayden, as Jordan mentions, how do you handle risers? You can answer that, but you can also give me a couple of your risers. Ian and I have already viewed everything as well. You were obviously watching them live while we were drinking at the bars in Canton, Ohio. So you explain how you were processing this.
Well, for risers in like non-best ball formats, I think that most of the time it's decent to chase. Obviously, there's some examples where you can't believe it, but like some things we just got it wrong early in the offseason. You have to chase up. And Best Ball Mania 3, it gets a little trickier because you're going to be competing with teams that had some of these players later on. But the difference doesn't matter that much. So like someone like George Pickens, I think we should be moving him up a little bit. Someone like Isaiah Pacheco, we should probably be moving up. It's when really bad players move up the draft board in bad situations is when I'm pretty much out.
What are some examples of those bad players who moved up draft boards?
I'll have to pull this up. I think that some of the rookies I get concerned with, like, I don't know. I feel like Chris Olave's been up the board, and I feel like he needs to be dropping down a little bit now that Michael Thomas seems healthy. It's interesting. This year, the rookies were like at like a reasonable cost originally, and they haven't really been moving down when we've got negative news on them. Like someone like Isaiah Spiller, Rashad White, they're still battling up the draft boards, and their ADPs haven't budged. So it's kind of interesting.
It's like every running back, man. Like what running backs actually played with the first team starters? Pacheco, inexplicably. I think Breece Hall was out there a little bit. James Cook, I know, was rotating with Zach Moss, but man, it was like going through the depth charts, like almost every single rookie running back, other than, of course, Isaiah. I mean, no one could stop Isaiah Pacheco at this point, but everyone else, man, third, fourth team. And it was just only week 1 of the preseason, but it's one of those things where like, it's not good. You know, it was
it's not good.
Sure would have been a lot cooler if they were with the starters. So,
yeah. On sites that don't exist, I've seen Pacheco go in the 6th, 7th, and 9th round in the last 48 hours.
6?
Come on, guys.
And those are $2,000 drafts. Yeah, it's getting wild on other sites.
Clyde Edwards-Hilaire's alive, and it's one of Hayden Winks' bowl calls that he's gonna be a pretty damn good running back this year.
That actually at all opens up this question for you, Hayden, since I know you're bullish on CEH due to the usage he received with Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, I mean, he played the first
bullish relative to the world. Let's say that. Maybe not bullish overall on that player.
No, I think I have him like ranked in the 60s, and he goes routinely in the 80s or sometimes 90s. Everyone thinks he sucks, and I don't disagree. I mean, I kind of disagree with that, but it's still the number one back. And I think that Isaiah Pacheco being the number 2 is good news for CEH. We're talking about somebody that we didn't even know who existed. In fact, if you look at Rutgers and the NFL.com, his home pages, he spells Isaiah Pacheco 2 different ways on them. That's how irrelevant of a player he was.
And it's one of those things too, where if we're going to continue, I'm sure, I know Gibson's ADP is falling already, but we still have guys like Josh Jacobs, even David Montgomery going just so far ahead of them where it's like, okay, if we want to rank them ahead of them, that's fine, but I'll happily take the multiple round discount we're being afforded with them right now. Clyde, Chase Edmonds, and Cordero Patterson, man, it's just like, what more do people want out of a running back? My goodness.
Yeah, I was looking today. CPAT's going 35 spots ahead of Tyler Algier, who's a 5th-round rookie who wasn't that exciting of a prospect, who's the current number 4. Like, only 35 spots. We're regressing people this much now.
It's madness.
I'm also raging against this fee, I swear, because Adam Levitin did on the ETR pod call him Wandale Robinson again, and I'm about to lose it. I've already called him out once publicly. I can't do it again.
The one that drives me nuts is I love Davis Maddock, but he goes Lazard instead of Lazard. Everyone
no,
Lazard, he goes Lazard. I'm like, oh, where did you get that from?
At least I have an excuse for when I phonetically read Tanyan, even though I know it's Tunyon. Like, there's an excuse there.
And everyone's been saying that one too.
Yeah. Like, I know it's wrong, but I sometimes read so quickly that I can't help it. Okay, so I started Christian McCaffrey. Let's see. I don't think I need to get unique here. Let's just play ceiling outcomes. Go Javonte and CMC. That's okay. And then let's figure it out from here. By the way, Jennifer Eakins, if you want to jump on, let me know. I can shoot you the link, and you can gladly jump in since you missed out of the draft and just talk for a little bit. I'm doing 2 live drafts here. Since Ian and I got split on the first time.
Oh my goodness. Now you know how it feels, John, and you're hosting. This is a
I think
a good test.
You did it. Not that it's your fault, but I think it happened to you 3 times in a row.
That's what I was saying. Like, you can handle this.
Yeah, you're right.
How often do you guys solo stream? I'm starting to do it a little bit more. It's hard, man. Like, talking for 30 minutes by yourself is tough.
I like it, but also humble brag. Pat on my back. I don't know, but remember, like, I went to school for radio, and so like I love learning how to space out your words and have a conversation that's not a conversation. I love that stuff.
Daigle, T. Higgins.
Not talk to. No, not now. Take Pittman.
Absolutely T. Higgins.
Tyreek. Higgins will come back to you. Just don't go.
At 26.
Damn it,
come back to the 48.
No one was even asking for your advice there, man.
YT Higgins, player take over Tyreek Hill.
Well, the offenses are just completely different. I was looking at. I'm writing my fades list, and I'm just finished up the Tyreek Hill stuff. And last year, the 49ers, or the last couple seasons, they've been 29th, 16th, and 29th in pass attempts, 28th, 31st, and 20th in neutral situation pace. This offense, if it is going to be the 49ers version of it, I don't see how Tua, unless he's way better than what we think, is going to be able to keep 2 top 20 wide receivers. You know, we never saw it with Debo. We never saw it with George Kittle. It was always one guy and then everyone else. I'm just not
Tyreek.
Sure. Yeah, and I'm fine with that too. I haven't been drafting either one because I don't know which one's going to be the one that loses out. And I think that I would just rather have T. Higgins, who I know at worst is going to be an inconsistent wide receiver too, and at best could be the best fantasy receiver in the game if something ever happens to Jamar Chase.
The only reason I like Michael Pittman in this stack is because since I have CMC, it's a hedge against Jonathan Taylor. So I think it would have made sense being like, oh, I don't have JT, but I do have Michael Pittman with CMC.
Real quick on the solo stream thing, like Daigle, I think solo stream radio is doable because you get the break every 12 to 15 minutes or so out there. When you solo stream the pod, man, like there's just nothing. It's you and that camera, nothing else. First year or so at PFF, I was doing a lot of solo ones, and if I had to go back and do it again, I think I would really try to cap it at like 30 minutes because like anything after that, it's hard, man. It takes a lot out of you.
Yeah. Well, you got to remember too that you have a lot more space between your words to calm down and just break for a second. You can also you can learn to pause and everything. You're not in a hurry. It's just you. It's okay.
I do. Okay, this is a weird example, but when Kanye went on the Joe Rogan podcast, like Kanye would take these really long pauses, and it was kind of weird. But you realize after a while, he just wasn't using filler words, and it really isn't the worst thing in the world to take a second if you don't know what you're going to say yet, and just relax and then say it.
This draft is going to be the most plus EV draft for everyone. I don't know how I'm going to keep up with this piece of shit over here.
You love Brandon Cooks, man, more than anyone I know. Brandon Cooks this year. That's your guy.
It is amazing Brandon Cooks still is in the top 20 wide receiver. Y'all are insane. Y'all are absolutely insane. I'm like, fine, I'll just take him.
He always projects as like a top 12 wide receiver. It's great. And then he finishes, low end wide receiver too. It's all good. He'll beat ADP again.
Are we at the point where we're dropping Deontay because of George Pickens?
Why? This happened last year with Chase Claypool. Literally. That he had that dope contested catch against the Cowboys, and we were all freaking out.
George.
Well, I think Pickens would take Claypool's role, right? Not Deontay's.
I mean, I've been
overall.
I got a text from my freaking friend yesterday. I was like, Pickens over Deontay, just straight up. I was like,
I did see that. That was great.
Go ahead. But I mean, I will say, like, this is much more reasonable with Deontay. Earlier in this, I mean, we've been doing these all freaking offseason. Earlier this year, you guys remember Deontay was certain more with that wide receiver one line. That always seemed like a bit of a stretch, just based on the quarterback situation alone. I mean, if DK Metcalf is sliding down to wide receiver 24, how come Deontay was getting the benefit for so long? So I don't know. I do think I think he's really good. I don't necessarily think he's great. So if Pickens could be the number one wide receiver in Pittsburgh, that's not meant as a big slight to Deontay or Claypool, but that was always kind of the thing, right? Pickens was banged up. I mean, I think outside the kind of consensus top 4, top 5 wide receivers in the draft, it was always like, there's also Pickens who could actually be the sleeping giant.
Yeah, I'm just worried because Deontay's going, and like now we have Pat Freiermuth. We know that he's at least decently good. Najee Harris is going to get the rock a ton. So there, all of a sudden, there's more target competition. There was no wide receiver 3 last year in Pittsburgh. So I don't know. I was in on Deontay, and then now I'm back out.
Shots fired at Ray, but okay.
For James Conner, Hayden, why is he sinking more? Like, what has happened to make him sink to a mid 4th round pick? That's insane.
Politics.
Yeah, I don't know. That could be the explainer. I don't know. Nobody likes him. Everyone thinks he's bad. Like, people think he's bad.
People hate good players.
If you're
not 26 or younger, like, people hate you.
Cliff is literally one of like 5 play callers, or like or the disciple of a play caller currently with their team that has ever used their running backs like at 80-75% plus snap rate, like with any sort of consistency over the years too. No one wants to feature one running back anymore, and understandably so, but it's like Cliff, Sean McVay, Matt Canada, Kellen Moore actually had and I think that's honestly, I think those were the only 4 coaches I found that with their current team had even like a 10% rate of giving their running back 75% plus snaps. People were like, who's going to take the Chase Edmonds role? Look what happened last year when Chase Edmonds was out. James Conner took the Chase Edmonds role. Yeah. I mean, I agree that Darrell Williams should be considered the backup favorite because he rested, but I mean, it's still not, he could just be the number 2. He's just not necessarily going to take any of the targets.
Do you have a vendetta to pick, Hayden, against Desmond Ridder? Is that what Fee's asking about? His special line?
Oh, I mean, I think that Desmond Ridder is going to be a great NFL offensive coordinator in 10 years. It's Marcus Mariota season on.
Dude, you're so wrong about this. Like, Desmond Ridder's starting NFL games this year, and like, I'm not saying he's good, but he's absolutely starting NFL games. That offensive line even showed us how bad they are in that first preseason game. Marcus Mariota got benched the last time he played with Arthur Smith. Like, this is crazy not to think that Desmond Ridder's not going to play NFL games. And he's going to run the ball. Like, it doesn't even matter if he can complete a pass.
Desmond Ridder,
all that, but with Mariota being the
I was about to say, Desmond Ridder is a poor man's Marcus Mariota. What are we
doing?
He can't. Mariota's going to get benched.
He runs a low 4.5, but he runs a low 4.5, but like doesn't really look to use it that much. I mean, I remember learning about Ridder, and it was like, this dude's just Mariota.
They can't play defense. Like, they had a negative 146 point differential and won 7 games, which was the lowest point differential for a 7-win team in NFL history. Like, we know they're not going to win 5 games. We know they're going to be one of the worst offenses in the league. Like, they will bench Mariota on principle just to try something new.
All I'm hearing is garbage time scrambles for Marcus Mariota and averaging 40 rushing yards per game.
You're misspelling Mariota. This is insane. Insane. Those Kyler stacks with Ritter are going to pop in week 17.
Oh my gosh.
Hey, are you guys? I feel like the only two values we kind of, because I mean, obviously shit always tightens up the closer we get to week 1, but the fact Michael Thomas and Chris Godwin aren't budging up more, I think is fantastic. I mean, you kind of you get past like the wide receiver 2s you feel good about once you start having like Metcalf. I know Daigle feels great about Cooks, but I wouldn't necessarily put him in that same tier as some of the other guys. And then we have Godwin and Michael Thomas sitting there. Like those are the two guys at the second they're out there and healthy, which both guys, especially Michael Thomas, like really seem to almost be there. Definitely Michael Thomas. We'll see about Godwin. He could certainly still be eased in, but I have each like top 20, 18 and 19, I believe. And man, if we get like if Michael Thomas plays week 1, gets 10 targets and is like the number 1, he could be top 12 by week 2.
Yeah, I think so too. I need to draft more Michael Thomas for sure. All right, Daigle, where are we at on this team? Is this the ghost team? The team that we don't care about?
This is the ghost team that I'm just like piecing shit together. Oh, I have T. Higgins in the other team, so I already got this wrong. So we're at Cooks, Juju, Andrews, Javonte, Jonathan Taylor, Naked Joe Burrow.
Cue up Tyler Boyd.
Buddy, this is already going bad.
Boyd really is. It's absurd how cheap he is right now. Like there's not a lot of offenses where I think wide receiver handcuffs are much tougher to kind of figure out than running backs, obviously. But my God, if anything happened to Higgins or Chase, like I think we've seen enough evidence with just the games that Boyd's played in the rookie year without Chase on the team, obviously, and even in the 2 games without Higgins last year, like his target pace is absolutely crazy. I mean, maybe if you had like a super legit wide receiver 4, like an Auden Tate or something like that, you would have to wonder about the target distribution. But the other Mike Thomas, I mean, come on now. Tyler Boyd he's been wide receiver 36 in PPR points per game each of the past 2 years. If Burrow has a boom season, he could maybe beat that a little bit. And if with one injury, we're talking about an every week wide receiver too.
Totally agree. Yeah. I think he paid off when I was looking back at it last year. I think he paid off this ADP just based off of last year's stats. And that was a season where both wide receivers stay healthy in front of him. And we were screaming every single day on Twitter for Zach Taylor to throw the ball more. Yeah. And we might get neither of those things this year. And he's going to pop up to be like a 5th round type of guy.
Yeah. I take him not believing I'm going to get any standalone value, but just as an injury option. It's like, you'll definitely play if T. Higgins or Jamar Chase gets injured.
It's going like outside the top 50 at this point. It's just, we always look at some of these guys in some of the RB2s like, oh, you won't feel good about putting them in the flex. You some of those 14-team leagues and week 6 comes around and all of a sudden you kind of wish you had Tyler Boyd on your bench. So
yeah.
Russell Gage is kind of like that. He's starting to go right next to Tyler Boyd, man. They still gave Russell Gage $30 million. Like, yeah, we were too high on him when he was going top 30. Like, I admit that. I'm not so sure Julio needs to be like a 30 wide receiver drop, though. Like, this is getting insane at this point.
Yeah, Julio, I think, is about to pass Russell Gage like any minute now. He's like 114 versus 116 in ADP.
I asked Twitter, and I think I got a majority saying they'd rather draft Julio Jones this year, or like they think he's going to score more fantasy points.
Does anyone know the details behind Brady? I've just been assuming he's just gone on vacation because he's 43 years old and doesn't need to be in training camp.
Yeah,
but the
he
news
was retired. He's obviously burnt out. I mean,
the news keeps coming back. Like, oh yeah, he's another week away. We're not worried about it yet. Like the word "yet" has me concerned. But again, I'm not overreacting yet.
I put it at 90% he comes back.
Oh, 90?
90, not 100?
Not 100. No way.
Okay.
Wow. I'd say 99.
Yeah. Charles Robinson came on our podcast and he was talking about it. And he was like, Giselle almost divorced him because he cares about football too much. And now that the kids are older and stuff, that like he like truly cares about this stuff. And this was not like planned before. Yeah, we'll see. If Giselle's, I'll just say, if you are going to retire, Giselle threatening to divorce you would be a pretty good reason among all the reasons to retire.
I mean, he went on a media, like it wasn't a media tour, but the entire thing when he retired was like his family. And then a month later, it's just like, by the way, I'm back.
Yeah.
Hayden, are you still on Elijah Mitchell? You're allowed to help my team too.
Yeah, I like him. I think he'll be back and ready to go. Obviously, there's injury risk. It's a hamstring. I don't love that, but I think he still has plenty of upside.
Through 6, I got Fournette and Mitchell at RB, Kupp, Tyreek, McLaurin, Michael Thomas Out wide
Nice.
receiver. A little early for guys. I've started to, it's redraft, and I've been doing a lot on another website that I won't, name for Hayden's sake. But
Thank you.
getting just comparing, it is wild how long it takes kind of some of these home leagues ADP to catch up, and some of the guys that have been like particularly egregious: Trey Lance, Mike Williams. There's a running back too. Trey Lance and Mike Williams, Jacobs, Gibson, and like Montgomery, and some of those running backs are still going way too high. Like, it is wild, man, to still see Trey Lance like a consensus ADP from 4 sites, like QB12, QB13, and he's now a QB7 here. Like, he was that like months ago. So, is it time to just assume those are the ADPs, or like, is this hopefully gonna? I mean, I don't want to say hopefully. I'll take the advantages, but my God, like Mike Williams in round 5, can I get in on these drafts? Like, I just can't believe this is happening.
Yeah, Josh and I did a draft on Sleeper, and like the default rankings there is just like, man, people that have been doing best ball drafts, they're gonna clean up in their redraft leagues. Clean up.
I've been on so many shows, humble brag as well. And like the person streaming it, like that's their first time. I'm not going to name names, looking at Sleeper. And I tell them, it's like, no, like you don't understand. Like, you need to learn how to speak to everyone, because like right now when people go back to home leagues, like they're speaking a different language than anyone drafting on Underdog. So like you talking about Underdog, like actually like doesn't help them, because like the home league default rankings are so bad. You can look at Yahoo and ESPN as well. They are criminal. Patrick Mahomes is like a top 30 pick on Yahoo. It's insane.
Drake.
What was I doing?
Drake.
I didn't want Drake, but it's okay. I was going to double tap quarterback and go Russell Wilson and stack the Broncos, but it's okay.
Oh, wow.
Hey, if we're how come DeAndre Hopkins goes? I just took him. Goes round 7, round 6 when, and like, why does Michael Gallup just completely get ignored? Like, he's going outside the top 60 at this point.
He's going after Jalen Tolbert. What are we doing?
Like, okay, I know he's not playing week 1. That's not ideal, but my God, all you people would talk about for months was week 17. Maybe we take the guy that's going to be Dak Prescott's number 2 wide receiver by week 17.
And he's going in like for your like redraft leagues, he's going in your bench. If you're drafting him for your bench, it doesn't matter if he's not available for week 1. He's already beyond the starting lineup.
I will treat Gallup as a playoff, like a best ball playoff option, but I'm not going to pretend like he's going to be back in the first 4 weeks or the first 8 weeks.
No, but
I don't want to depend on that.
He's wide receiver 61 right now. I mean,
I think that's fine. Like he was going too high.
The Tolbert stuff for me, the Jalen Tolbert stuff it's too much for me. I'm not even sure if he's going to be starting over Noah Brown.
I was about to say Noah Brown might freaking score more fantasy points than Jalen Tolbert.
Shit! I missed this pick.
Is it too risky to send out the Noah Brown 4 touchdowns versus Oklahoma performance?
Wow, I didn't even know about this.
Yeah, bro. He made he did the catch like with the defender between him.
Oh,
and
I remember that catch. Yeah.
Who was the Alabama receiver that did that like an 0-2 or something? That was like an OG legend YouTube clip. Daigle, you're pretty old. You should know this. You know what I'm talking about? The Alabama dude that like caught it, like had the defender between him and he caught the football on the defender's back.
I know who you're talking about, but we've seen that play a couple times, so I'm not sure.
God damn it. I'll find it.
Was it Brian Robinson? Except Brian Robinson never caught a pass because he's 30 years old. So
didn't Brian Robinson catch like 30 passes at Alabama last year?
Oh, Hiram Prothrow.
Yeah, I wouldn't have got that.
The catch.
I wouldn't have got that at all.
You have not been watching enough YouTube this offseason. That's all I've been watching a bunch of 2010s Bama freaking like game rewinds, like
Julio Jones.
Yeah, dude. Oh my goodness. It's Julio Jones. He set the Alabama single game receiving record. Guess how many touchdowns he had in that game?
No, don't tell me.
0. The most Julio thing ever.
That's crazy.
What were the largest ADP bumps from the first week of preseason, Hayden? Dameon Pierce, George Pickens?
Yeah, I think those were the rookies that shot up. Isaiah Pacheco still keeps climbing. I can pull this up though. Using 4for4.com/underdog ADP.
That's what I use to cite on my ADP too.
Yeah, Brian Robinson's up 20 spots. Zay Jones up 20 spots. Romeo Dubs 15.
Daigle. Zay Jones had a real crispy route to start that game.
Yes, that comeback. And then
the
double move.
Yeah, that was real nice. Apparently, Trevor Lawrence loves
he's
him.
like
the ball
he's like
4 times.
Jacoby Myers. Like he'll have catches, but I mean, you're not going to get anything from him.
No, I'm not saying draft him, but we can still.
Well, I mean, and actually, in the last round of best ball leagues, you should draft him because you're looking for just players who are out there. You just know like he'll never be a top 24 receiver.
I hate when you show like one cool play and they're like, "Yeah, let's see him do it again." It's like, let's just appreciate the moment, you mother.
Yeah, gosh, people are so annoying.
Freaking people, man. All right, I'll take Miles Sanders at the end of the 8th round. I don't know. Evan Silva said some nice things about him. I like to think he's still knows what he's talking about. Why the hell not? I'll try to get Matthew Stafford here in a bit. Stack him up a Cooper Kupp. Great day to be great. Some of these running backs, man, like I was doing a Bleacher Report stream today, and like again, based on the consensus ADPs I was working with, Antonio Gibson, Josh Jacobs, we're going like in the top 40, top 50 still. And someone's like, well, Miles Sanders should be in this group too. And I was like, well, he's going like outside the top 70 with this stuff. So yeah, there are dead zone running backs still in round 4 and 5, even 6. But some of these other running backs, I mean, Gibson's situation is weird, but I feel like Miles Sanders, I mean, for him to be slipping this late, I'll put him in the Hunt, Chase Edmonds, CPAT tier. No problem.
Yeah, I think it seems appropriate. I'm not sure if he's going to the goal line reps. That's like something I'm kind of monitoring. There's been like
at this point though. I heard, but they were talking about Jordan Howard like months ago, and I'm like, what are they waiting for? Which maybe they
I was even hearing like Kenny Gainwell and Boston Scott is just kind of I don't know. I feel like they just don't trust him, but he to me is a better pick than Antonio Gibson for sure. I like Damian Harris here. I know I'm a sicko, but
I kind of like Derek Carr here.
Okay, if Ty Montgomery's the pass down back, like Damian Harris will probably outscore Ramondre Stevenson.
Yeah, by a lot.
Which,
we have literally a decade of evidence that Damian Harris is going to be like the carries, like lead the team in carries and be the goal line runner.
The thing is,
everyone ignores it.
I think the Stevenson stuff is kind of fair because it really doesn't seem like Damian Harris has a chance at the pass down role, and that's what we're going for. Like we've seen James White and even Shane Vereen the pass. Like, those have been the highest scoring backs. It's not been Blunt and Damian Harris, so that's the only kind of allure there.
Yeah, I just think like Damian Harris is going to score 11 touchdowns this year, have 800 rushing yards, and like some weeks he'll be irrelevant, and some weeks he'll be like the 14th running back. And at this point in the draft, you have to be taking those guys.
Yeah. Daigle's riding a struggle bus up here.
Yeah, I'm so confused on which teams which. I can't even.
This draft is off the fucking rails. Here I am.
Everyone in that draft can thank me for forcing Daigle to do 2 at once.
I don't even know what to do anymore in this one. Where are we at tight end? Oh God. Okay.
Parker Palmer,
125. Parker.
I can do McCole Hardman at this point.
Absolutely not.
Groin spasms. He's fine.
Yeah, Brady and Burrow. We got a Gage stack somehow. That's okay. It's not that bad. It's not good.
Some of this stuff when like we had the backup center get carted off with cramps and the Mecole Hardman thing, like we get 5 like terrible. The Mecole Hardman thing, they go carted off the field. I mean, apparently he limped over the sideline, and yeah, I don't know. I think there should be a difference between like this guy physically can't walk and he was carted off the field, and like, hey, the door is like half a mile away, so we didn't.
That's how it always is.
They just got banged up to go walk over there. Like, come on now.
Yeah, next year I'm going to write a column. I'm going to use Google Maps, and I'm going to see the practice field to the locker and see how the distance is, so you have a better idea of how to treat these.
The analysis we need.
I will direct everyone to ETR's live draft because I enjoyed it. I got great comedy out of it because Silva from the very first round last night literally told Leone and Levitan. And he emphasized it every round. So he didn't just mention at the top of the video, every single round, he told them and yelled at them, don't you dare talk about players. Like literally the word players. And so there is silence in between their picks.
That's what he did on our stream too.
Because Silva doesn't let you talk about the players before they get there at all. It's great.
Oh,
it's amazing.
That's fair. No, that's fair. He's just playing the percentages, man.
It's great.
I was doing a stream with Dwayne last night. It's going to be up here in a couple hours. And like, Michael Thomas was maybe it was Hopkins. One of them were falling to us, and Dwayne mentioned it like 2 picks before. I was furious. We weren't live or anything, but like you don't mess with that mojo.
No, it's not mojo, dude. Like they were live,
The live
and
stream,
Silva
yeah.
didn't let them talk about players at all. They had to talk about anything else in life. It was
like I thought he just like didn't want them to spoil picks.
No. As in, like they're live at the draft, and like they're 12.
He doesn't want to get
picks away.
sniped. He doesn't want to get sniped.
He's like, don't talk about players at all. Not this player, players.
How big of a draft was it?
It was the main event.
Okay, I mean, the man's trying to invest his money right. That's the thing with those. I don't go.
And he
live.
hated the team. He wanted to buy out of the team at the end.
I don't go live on those streams. I'll do this with you guys, $25. But I don't know if I got something. If I got something over 100, I don't really like doing it live. I'll say that.
Nah, I love all live streams. I don't care about that. No one's like in those streams. If someone's sniping you anyways, like that's plus EV. I don't care about that.
By the way, Daigle, should we pull your Oracle's interest in our team? That dude fell asleep in like round 8.
He did fall asleep in 8 or 9. No, he still paid for the team because he's going to help us run waivers. So
there we go. All right, fair play. He's got to do the first like 3 weeks as punishment. That's what I'll
remember.
Say.
Other sites that don't exist,
other
sites that don't exist also run waivers on Saturday nights now as well. So there's 2 runs.
Oh, I missed tight end. I hate when I miss tight end. Antonio Gibson's still here.
See, I would take. I think I moved Antonio Gibson to 111 in my rankings. I think I would be gobbling, especially in BBM3. You have such a leverage if we're all wrong about this situation.
Okay, fair play, Hayden.
Yeah, Hayden, don't help Ian. I want to know.
CPAT, go CPAT.
I can help here. I had CPAT originally there.
No, we need our receivers. We need some receivers.
Correct.
Hey, let's go the all USC route. We already have 3 of them. Let's go more USC wide receivers.
Who's next? Did Gage go to USC?
No, none of these guys did.
We're gonna have to go. I'm just gonna go Gage here.
Yeah, that's fine.
Boy, we got a lot of possession receivers. That's the issue. We got no one who scores touchdowns.
Well, touchdowns don't matter according to fantasy Twitter. It's just about yards. Touchdowns aren't a skill.
It's all about targets per route run in in a 3 wide receiver set, and yeah, it's too much.
What the hell is Aaron Rodgers now?
It's my favorite. Targets per route run is my favorite because it's used out of context all the time, and it's like, yeah, but that player doesn't play. So who gives a shit what his targets per route? when you run 1 route per game, who cares whether you get targets or not?
That's like the Rondale Moore stuff. It's like, yeah, he comes in for 1 screen and then he gets subbed out. Of course, yeah, they schemed him up 1 screen catch. Of course, his target's gonna be up.
Dude, that draft is not going well. All right, we drafted Devontae Parker. We're adding to our receivers. I keep taking Devontae Parker. That's fine.
So do I.
He's gonna be on the field every snap. I don't care.
Yep.
Dog.
What is this team even anymore?
Yeah, and people forget he is a freaking dog.
He is a dog.
All right, where are we at here? Oh, okay.
It was weird. The whole fantasy community was in on Parker for like 5 years, and then like he had a really good year. And what was 2019?
Yeah,
he's got he's been hurt, but we know that's Devontae Parker. So now he's going like cheaper than ever. Still, people just don't want CPAT.
How old is he? He's probably 28. Let's see.
I would guess 28. Yeah, I think he nailed it.
29.
Should have been Contran. Cole Kmet's tight end 11. What a freaking world. Cole Kmet's like poor man's Dalton Schultz. I just don't want either of them.
I'm just all the way in on David Njoku. Tight end 12 for me. Just he's the guy that has the opportunity to do it. There's the target competition so bad. I think he's actually good versus some of these other scrubs. Like, man, you just can't tell me that Cole Kmet's better than David Njoku. No way. Well,
the best part about that is like that's what I keep running into. It's like I'm not drafting Cole Kmet, Mike Gesicki, Hunter Henry, Gerald Everett. Like you just wait for Njoku because he keeps going after all these guys. Yeah. He goes so late.
Yeah, he's my most drafted player.
Even like Gerald Everett, man. I don't want to hear about last year's usage with Cole Kmet. I was under a completely different coaching staff, and it's one of those things. Same reason why I was off Alberto, which right now it's looking okay. in terms of like, it's not that Greg Dulcich or Eric Tomlinson or Eric Saubert. It's not like those guys are going to overtake Alberto. And I don't think James O'Shaughnessy or Ryan Griffin are going to overtake Cole Kmet. But I think they could make it a committee like these Green Bay, Nathaniel Hackett and Luke freaking Getsy watched Robert Tonyan have like 12 touchdowns and 6 incomplete targets thrown his way, and they still didn't even play him freaking more than 60% of snaps last year. Like, I just think that these are offenses probably going to use tight end committees. It is tough to know, though. Like, Hayden, you mentioned it before with Mike McDaniel in Miami. Like, we do the Shanahan, McVay, LaFleur coaching tree. It's just tough to be fully sure what exactly their OCs are gonna be doing on their own.
Yeah, I mean, Albert O was playing literally until halftime.
Yeah.
Halftime last week. No other starters were out there. Halftime, not even like the first drive. Man.
I'm still betting on Alberto, though. And like, it's not like it takes a lot to bet on him. It's fine.
Yeah, I just skip over those guys. I'll go David Njoku. I'll correlate my tight end to with whatever quarterback I have. If it's Gerald Everett, sure. I don't care. Tyler Higbee, sure. I don't care. And then I'll go Austin Hooper as my tight end 3 because he's going to be out there every single down, and all the wide receivers over there don't seem that great. So
I still think 4 tight ends are better than 3, too. I like 4 tight ends. Waiting until the very end. Yeah.
I just do 3 of them.
The last 4 rounds is what I do.
Depends. Yeah. I mean, who your 1 is. What if you have like a top 5 tight end?
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. 4 tight ends if you wait to the last 4 rounds.
Oh, I think you're on the clock on the other draft, FYI.
I like hammering like Taysom Hill, Mo Alley Cox, Hayden Hurst, and Austin Hooper, just like getting 4 out of the way.
Part of me wonders with Mo Alley Cox, like Jelani. I feel like the Jelani Woods thing was what threw us. Like, we're like, oh damn, we really can't get behind it now. But Jelani Woods is buried. Like, I mean, I've heard some like offensive tackle switch jokes thrown out there on Twitter. Like, I don't know. Sucks. It was Kylan Granson and some dude's name, I forget, splitting the first team starters. Like, I think Mo Alley Cox could be like a dark horse for the kind of Gerald Everett, Hayden Hurst season we're hoping for. Like, he could work his way to 60, 70 targets and score 8 touchdowns. This is like top case scenario. And he's going after Brevin Jordan.
Home leagues are the best because like you can just if you end up punting that position because it doesn't fall the right way, you just take him in the last round. No one in a home league is going to take Mo Alley Cox, and he plays the Texans week 1. Like, he could have even if he has a touchdown, he's a top 12 player, and you don't blow fab on him the next week. So I draft him as my starter in the last round of like sleeper leagues and whatnot.
Ooh, getting spicy.
If the top 5 get out of hand, what the hell am I doing here?
Hey Hayden, are you drinking the Nyheim Hines Kool-Aid?
Yeah, I think in full PPR leagues, I think he has a chance to be out there enough to be like a flex, but probably if Nyheim Hines is your flex option, your team's probably bad. But at the same time, I don't trust any of the other backs in the backfield. And if JT goes down, it's going to be a pass-first offense, and I think he's going to go out there and cook. And if JT's not on the offense, that means that the first overall pick is not in your league, most importantly. So it's like double leverage.
I was just surprised to see them actually only feature him and not Philip Lindsay with the starters, because even earlier in his career when Marlon Mack would get hurt, it was Jordan Wilkins stepping up. Maybe now it's just Nyheim's that guy. Nyheim Hines, Alexander Madison, and Khalil Herbert played every single snap with the starters during their debuts. I know Herbert and Madison had that role last year, but with the new coaching staffs, I at least thought it was a little bit up in the air. So I'm much more in on those guys as well.
Yeah. Oh shit. All right, here we go. Damian Harris, RB3. We have 6 wide receivers, but could always use more.
I like Chark, Osborne, or Isaiah McKenzie for the wide receivers, and Alexander Madison for running backs. I don't know what.
Lance, Carolina, Denver, New England. I'm just working in my head. Madison's good value. We'll take that.
Oh, we'll take Chark.
Damn it.
Well, I don't think this other guy's going to draft his 5th running back in the 12th round. So I think we got a decent chance here.
Buddy, misgrade miss. Please do not do this. Let me have Alexander Madison a full round after. Not you. You don't need him. Yeah, you take Justin Fields.
Perfect.
And then, yeah, we're still going to need more receivers, though. These bums.
We never have enough receivers, John.
These bums. This is going to be a 2 tight end build. Yeah. We may just do 4. We may do 3 QBs.
Pacheco over Alexander Madison. Oh my goodness.
Let him.
What are we living in?
Bro, Isaiah Spiller, we're 20 spots past his ADP right now.
I don't think people get the Pacheco thing. It's just like it's a Ronald Jones versus Pacheco thing. Like it's being confused with like a Clyde Edwards-Helaire Pacheco thing. Like, come on.
Man.
But that first goal line stance, whenever they run some stupid motion play, because the Chiefs are always bored in the regular season, and it's Pacheco out there, not CEH, it's going to be fucking hot. It's going to be hell yeah. We're ready to roll now.
He will be the cover boy of like waiver wire week 1.
He absolutely will be. Yeah. Yeah, we're looking at this, Hayden. We need more. Yeah. I don't like to do 8 or 9 receivers because that's what everyone does. I've been leaning more on 6 running back, 7 receivers, or vice versa.
Yep.
But like these wide receivers are obviously weak.
But how many is that? 7 or is that 6?
We have 7 wide receivers.
I think that's pretty decent. You know, like wide receiver 6 and wide receiver 7 being like 2 wide receiver set starters and better and best ball types. Like to me, it's like it's not the best, but I think that's somewhat serviceable. Like to me, this could be like Zay Jones in round 17 and the 8 wide receiver build, and you're sitting.
So my only argument would be like the way we started this draft though with CMC and Javonte, like it's not a 6 RB team since we invested high capital.
It'd be 5
assumption RB1s. Yeah. So 5 and then 3 QBs in case Trey Lance fails. I'd be okay with that.
I think it's a good point I don't agree with the 3 QB thing because if Trey Lance fails, you're probably fucked. But
the 3 QB is not even Lance.
I would do 3 tight ends. 3 tight ends.
3 QB is everyone does 2 QB, so you do 3. That's the argument.
Either way, I agree with you. I don't know that you're, and this is what Liam was talking about when he was on here. Like, I don't know that you're overall, or no, I'm sorry. I was talking to Justin Herzig on his stream. Your overall like numbers, like, man, what if you just take like the way better running back that's a value instead of a wide receiver in like round 16 or 17? Like that changes your ending roster construction value. I think it's more important to have the right numbers at each position by like round 11 or round 12. Cause like once we get to the end, a lot of time we're just kind of taking shots on guys anyway. So I wouldn't, if there's someone really free falling, like don't just not take another wide receiver because you think you have this arbitrary number in your head. That's all I'm saying.
To me, I'm always on 3 tight ends. Like unless you're going something crazy like Waller plus Knox or something, like to me, it's always 3 tight ends.
We got some interesting conversation going on in the comments. I appreciate it, guys.
They're just having their own stand-up show.
They're having a fun time.
The old guys from the Muppets, which is great.
It's August 18th. People still aren't really drafting. We love that you guys are here.
Yeah, I've been receiving some DMs saying like, "Hey, I'm just getting back into reading stuff," and I was like, "Oh yeah, I forgot that people actually don't properly give a shit about football for the last 5 months of their lives, and now they're just coming back."
It is nice though. Where like my like anti-Juju takes that people might pull from July won't impact a lot of my loyal subscribers because I've appropriately moved them up since. So you know what, water under the bridge, as some might say.
Yep.
They didn't notice it. It's like the Trayvon Walker. Was it reckless driving, car crash, whatever? Didn't even matter.
Oh.
We got the report after he was number 1 overall pick. Didn't matter at all.
I didn't even know that existed. So
exactly. I heard about it before the draft, and I may have hedged some bets, and it didn't matter whatsoever. Wow. So it's just better to be blissfully ignorant, honestly, in life.
Nothing wrong with that.
So to me, this is like auto Trevor Lawrence if we could manage to get him. I know Ian's not going to take him. He's already got 2 quarterback. He won't be tempted. This guy's not going to be. Oh, if this guy's on auto, we're screwed.
Maybe I do just to screw with you guys.
Oh, he goes. You
won't do it.
You won't do it.
The running backs are already just dead.
God, come on, don't do it. This guy.
The Higbee Stafford stack. Ooh, baby, a cup.
Nailed it. Trevor Lawrence, let's go. We're drafting Evan Ingram so fast.
Well, listen, the misgrade miss still doesn't have a tight end. So
hey, first example this season of routes over snaps is Evan Ingram. You look at the snaps like 60%. Routes though, I think I said targets. I meant routes. 77% routes. Good.
Yeah,
great.
He didn't start the game, which I thought was weird. And they had like a Manner's like lined up in the slot one time, and I was like, this doesn't look right. I'm not sure how much I believe this. So yeah, I'm with you. I think it was overall promising performance.
Who was the Trevor Lawrence threw that touchdown week 1 last year where it was like 5 wide and he was under center. And
oh yeah, I remember that.
I'm trying.
Oh, disgusting.
Oh, was it Luke Farrell? I think.
Yes,
the Buckeye.
Yeah, the Ohio State kid
caught one against Clemson. Great day to be great.
Yeah, we got a hammer.
Nailed it. That's how you play the 14-15 turn. Little Trevor Lawrence, Evan Ingram. I mean, how late did we get Trevor Lawrence?
Yes.
I mean, was that 30 spots after ADP?
140. Yeah.
Nice.
25.
Wow.
That's crazy. Why did he fall?
Politics.
Whoever drafted Christian Kirk didn't already had other quarterbacks. That's my guess. Find Christian Kirk's team. Did he have 2 quarterbacks already?
Oh, well, there's Kirk Cousins. Why is there 3? Christian Kirk, 7-11. 7-11. He had Mahomes, and then he took Derek Carr, 107.
Boom. That's how you get at following Trevor Lawrence. When you only have one wide receiver or the quarterback only has one pass catcher ahead of him, you can kind of play this weird game.
Yeah, we have 4. We probably need 5. I wouldn't mind 4 either, but we probably need 5. How did Zay Jones go already? Y'all are stupid. Just because I star him doesn't mean y'all should take him. Yeah.
This is I think a 2-5-8-3.
All right. We'll look when it gets closer. Let's keep on playing this. Now that usage is becoming slightly clearer too, dude, the last 2 rounds, I mean, they've always been ugly, but Jesus, they're ugly.
I think they're ugly right now. That's why I've been doing more 3 quarterback builds. I'll do like 1 good quarterback and then 2 scrub quarterbacks. Like I like Jared Goff, Marcus Mariota on like a Kyler team, something like that, where like maybe before I was sacrificing Isaiah McKenzie and stuff where I was very confident about those guys. Now the wide receivers in the 17th, 18th round, I mean, as bad as it can get.
I mean, Zay Jones is a 15th round player. That tells you how bad it is. Like,
and he's my favorite one. That's my favorite one out of all of them.
So bad.
The other players are literally the wide receiver 4s for their own team.
Daigle, can you please show the latest comment?
Yeah.
Never forget Duke Johnson, baby. Never.
This guy's name is going to be Duke Johnson forever. He's stuck with it.
I stick with everything. No take is wrong if you extend the timeline long enough.
Do you think he'll land with another team if he gets cut?
That'd be awesome. Go take Damian Pierce's fucking job. Reunion in Houston. Go be CPAT's number 2 in Atlanta. Wow. That's my dream. Give me Auden, CPAT, and Duke in the same offense.
That's why I'm still taking Rojo in the last few rounds.
Yeah,
like
now it's the time.
Atlanta and like the Titans are just right there waiting.
He's going to turn out to be the Patriots' 3rd down back, and the Ramondre Stevenson going to get busted because of Duke Johnson.
I think Hayden, I know you're not a big victory lap guy, but just, the Ronald Jones, if the guy is not making more money than the Best Ball Mania 3 winner take, that's
so clean.
That's something next year. I'm gonna make a list. I'm gonna put it on my wall, like right behind my computer, and just before I draft them, I just want to make myself look at that list and really think twice.
Never fails.
Great call.
I will definitely take Ronald Jones, though, in redraft leagues, knowing I'm going to cut him before week 1. If he doesn't land with the Falcons, that's fine. I will take a 1 in 32 chance.
Dude, especially if you're in one of these leagues that doesn't force you to fill your lineup so you don't need the kicker or punter. Like, he's the perfect guy to take. Even like a Boston Scott, man, like Miles Sanders is dealing with his hamstring. I don't think it's too serious. Mm-hmm. I know you want Kenneth Gainwell to happen. Boston Scott's been an RB2, like, several times when Miles Sanders missed.
And more importantly, Boston Scott is the man. That dude's so funny. He was a prankster last year. I've listened to some of his interviews. He's the best. He's like a miniature version of like Jamal Williams.
When they play the Giants, like if they're playing them early in the season, like it's over. The Giant Slayer himself.
Mm-hmm.
All I know is that November 20th, the Bears play the Falcons because that's the Super Bowl. That's the first 3 points
pick.
Wins. First 3 points wins the game.
Oh my goodness.
Mariota's gonna get that in the first drive.
But Mariota runs for his life every single fucking snap.
That's so good for fantasy. You're making my case for me, Daigle.
They're gonna bench him because he can't complete a pass, and they're gonna get Desmond Ridder, who's happens to be in the game in week 17, and realize, oh, he can't complete a pass either. Desmond drafted Ridder, a quarterback.
He can't throw the ball. I'm telling you, his accuracy is like
it doesn't matter.
not NFL caliber.
Did you guys see after he won the Notre Dame game when he tried to chuck the ball into the stands and it literally slipped out of his hands and went like,
no.
Yeah, bro. I tweeted like he threw it like in the ground. Like it was embarrassing. At that point in time, I was like, I'm out on Desmond Ridder. So
I'm out. I'm telling you, he will be a Sean McVay disciple and be coaching the Chicago Bears in 2042.
Trey Sermon got injured today.
No.
TDP's just sitting here with Trey Lance.
To believe it. I refuse to believe it.
It doesn't match my priors.
We're going TDP. We got to do this. We have Trey Lance as well. So,
do we have any idea how serious?
No, he was just limping a lot and got helped off the field. We don't know anything yet.
Carted off.
But he was ahead of TDP reportedly. So now the top 3 running backs are injured. We'll go TDP now.
It's 0.67 miles away from the locker room. We can't believe the cart.
I think TDP at this spot is fine. Regardless, just throw some bullets.
It's the 17th round. Like this is a range that's totally fine. When he was going in the 13th, 14th, that was not fine. Just wait.
Agreed.
Outside of Zay Jones, Donovan Peoples-Jones is my favorite. And best ball.
Well, right now because we're playing we're waiting for those. We're playing for those Watson playoff weeks is what we're doing here. So
yeah, I haven't even layered that in. Even before that, he's going to be a 2 wide receiver. Have you guys seen what's happening with David Bell and Anthony Schwartz?
That's why I drafted Will Fuller.
Yeah, they're basically running routes without hands. It's like neither of them catch the ball. It's not good.
Anthony Schwartz was always that player. He was an Olympic. He was a sprinter. That's the only reason they drafted him. But they don't. But he can't run routes. He has no idea how to play a receiver. That was his profile.
But he had that chunk play against the Chiefs, like first drive, and we were like, "Oh shit, hold on."
He's just fast, is all it is.
I think DPJ, man, like you want to talk about small sample sizes with a nice, look at DPJ's rookie year yards per route run in that comp group. Hayden knows. No, I got sniped on Mo Alley Cox. Oh, dang.
DPJ just kind of an alpha, like he's like a low key alpha. He's kind of like Nico Collins in that, like he's not an alpha wide receiver like in the NFL, but like just alpha sized, big school, just like was supposed to be the guy. I'm sure he's a 5-star prospect, the whole thing.
I've over the last couple off seasons, I hate this pick, but fuck it. Over the last 3 off seasons, I've been trying to look at like the 5-tool wide receiver, and I believe I couldn't. The only guy that actually matched everything, I was like over the 50th percentile in like height, weight, speed, like whatever route running metric I found. Then like kind of playmaking, like yards after the catch ability. Kyle Pitts is like the only one that actually checked every box, and a lot of other guys have more. But the 3 guys that kind of like stood out, despite not checking everything, just based on where they're going, were Donovan Peoples-Jones, Nico Collins, both Michigan guys, then Romeo Doubs this last year. So none have exactly done too much yet. But yeah, man, like it's especially in some of those Michigan offenses over the years. And I'm not trying to be a hater. I know they had a nice little year last year for the first time in quite a while, if I will say. But it's a school that recruits really freaking great players, and then if they're just going to run I formation against 9-man boxes all day, I'm not surprised that some of the receivers take a little while to develop.
Deshaun Watson went in the 17th round for reference here, but oddly enough, he went in a 4 QB build, which is just burning money, especially when you use capital on Joe Burrow, 79 overall. So that's stupid. Whatever.
Yep.
But yeah, I am now treating Browns player. I treat John Peoples-Jones like Jameson Williams. So Jameson Williams goes late, like someone I don't expect to help out at all until like the last 4 or 5 weeks of the year.
Yeah, that's fair. Do we have a favorite round 18 pick these days? Like all of our earlier offseason ones are either.
I mean, we're at Danny Gray territory here. I mean, Jesus.
To me, it's Mariota, Jared Goff. It's like those types. Just like all these with that. Wentz, I'm fine with it. Yeah. Whoever your wide receiver 2 is in your draft, find that quarterback and just draft him. Because look at these names we're talking about. I mean, these names are pathetic now.
And that's always been the talk of it. It's like, okay, I know this quarterback sucks, but we're talking round 18, and like when did like Zach Wilson go or something? Like you can't tell me that we're like that.
Around here too.
You want even further back.
To me, earlier in best ball, I was more willing to go with the 2 quarterbacks because the round 17 and 18, I felt confident that I was like picking the right ones that they were going to go up the board, like the Julios, the Isaiah McKenzie's, and all that stuff. But now all those guys have flown off the board, so now we're dealing with Kyle Phillips, Noah Brown, which I think these are my favorite round 18 picks, but the fact that they is bad. That's not. That
does not make them good, though. Yeah,
I agree with every single person you just starred, but to me, it's bad.
Right. I just started them to make sure, like when I reference the board here, I know what I'm doing because, yeah, it gets ugly now. I think you're right, though. That's actually a really good strategy for, the next 2 weeks. Is that round 17 and 18, you should be using them on these quarterbacks. Even Deshaun Watson, playoff quarterback, QB3. Just do it.
Yeah, or tight end threes like Austin Hooper,
Tight end
those
threes,
types, Noelle Cox. Just sort by snaps on the field in round 7 and 18, and I think you'll be all right.
Who's going to lead the Tampa Bay tight end room? No one?
Jones.
What was the question?
Who's going to lead the Tampa Bay tight end room?
I think Cameron Brate comfortably.
I still think it's Cameron Brate.
I think he's a really good pick, actually.
Wait, so we're going Cameron Brate?
Yes.
Yeah, Cameron Brate.
He's probably gone.
Oh, I just took him.
He's gone.
Oh, man, I just took him. Wow.
You could go. We should go. I could be sold on Isaiah Likely as like contingent value.
No.
These guys are so trash.
At
least Dulcich would be on the field.
Bellinger's the only one that could actually have like a full-time starting job.
Or Curtis Samuel, like he's going to be out there. Like it's so bad. I don't like it.
I think this team needs Curtis Samuel. That's fine.
Get Curtis out there.
I hate non-wide receivers, but yeah, it's fine.
He's out there.
2-5-9-2 seems like a pretty common structure.
I have like the best 2018 wide receivers ever: Cooper Kupp, Tyreek, McLaurin, Michael Thomas, Hopkins, and Will Fuller. Yeah, baby.
That's good stuff.
Higbee, Hayden Hurst, Logan Thomas, Cameron Brate, the 4 tight ends. I will say, like, I did a draft at a tight end premium site that I won't name last night, and Dwayne and myself made the mistake of tight ends didn't fall to us when we were hoping, but we didn't force it, so we just kept going lower and lower. Like, Logan Thomas is the guy that the second he's back, like, we know he's going to play like 100% of the snaps. So, look, in these desperate desperate times call for desperate measures. Like Logan Thomas, when you're looking at a bunch of guys that like he's around a bunch of guys that have like no chance of being like a top 15 tight end once they're on the field pretty much. So at least once Logan Thomas is out there, he's going to be in that conversation. When that will be, I don't know, but that's why he's as cheap as he is. Yeah.
As 3 Roto-World blurbers, I don't think have any of us found any Logan Thomas like timelines to return. It seems like no practice, no PUP, no timelines, just like,
even when he was asked too, like, yeah, he was not high on his return at all.
Yeah, I remember that. That was a great
That's
point.
the last news we have about him is him saying like, no, I'm not ready. Like,
but it's the Michael Gallup thing too. Like there hasn't been a good timeline, which I kind of wish there was, but we also don't exactly know if they're going to be out for half the season either. So we'll see.
I'll still let, even if I'm in the minority camp, I'll still let everyone else draft Michael Gallup. That's not a player I want to be on in his ADP. That's fine. Ian, your build, 4 tight ends. But beyond that, how do you think you start?
Pretty great.
Pretty
team's
good,
off.
Actually, honestly.
My team's off. Yeah, bro. We got a squad over here.
Why Fournette over Javonte?
Because he's going to get maybe 100 more touches than Javonte. And, I think Javonte is a better player. But I don't know, man. Melvin Gordon averaged more yards per carry and yards per reception than Javonte last year. Yeah, show me the missed tackles metrics. But more and more, I'm coming around to the idea that missed tackles for us aren't always I think it's more of a descriptive stat than something necessarily telling us how good someone is. Similar to a PFF's big-time throw rate. I like it. I enjoy watching missed tackles. I enjoy watching big-time throws into tight coverage that the quarterback somehow completes. The guy that hits the hole where the play is supposed to go and, turns 4 yards into 5.
We need a PFF broken tackles over expected because
nice.
If a player is going to be bouncing it outside, that's when you get one-on-one opportunities where you actually force missed tackles. If you're getting a pitch or a stretch play or a ball in the flats, you'll see like the JD McKissick types pop out on like Tony Pollard as well. Like they're always getting in space. Like Ezekiel Elliott's never going to be breaking tackles because the guy trying to tackle him weighs 325 pounds up the middle. So like the players that always bounce it outside to me are always going to pop in this metric. Like, yes, I agree. Javonte Williams is going to do that. But I do think that the coaches like Melvin Gordon just running up the damn middle and picking up the 3 yards that were blocked for him. So
my argument has always been just like take even more steps back and ask yourself, does the coach know this stat exists? And most likely he does not. So it doesn't matter. Just big picture as you can.
Well, that's
help fantasy.
Shout out to Carlos Manzo, like Michael Carter. Yeah, he has the same exact broken tackle metrics as Javonte Williams last year, but we don't talk about it because it doesn't fit our narrative. And also, Michael Carter has the same targets per route run. We were talking about that earlier. Like, not quite the same. It's a little lower, but he's in the same gaudy comp group as Kenneth Gainwell, and people don't give Michael Carter credit for that. I think Carter and Darrell Henderson in that mid RB40s range, they are guys that have a legit chance at standalone value. Maybe unlikely, but they have a chance. And like, if they also have really good handcuff value. So that's the other thing with Melvin. I saw in Hayden's Bull Call article, he had Melvin out there as this year's James Conner. I think Melvin, earlier in the offseason, I said Melvin, Ronald Jones, and Jamal Williams had a chance to be that guy. Obviously, one of them, I think, is probably out of that conversation. But Melvin Gordon and Jamal Williams, absolutely.
I love them. Yeah, Michael Carter, Jamal are the two late round guys for me. Like,
and as someone, again, who has done a lot of sleeper drafts now and Yahoo drafts and seen where the ADPs are going, zero RB is so easy in home leagues this year because, like, you do get all of those guys: Alexander Madison, Michael Carter, Isaiah Spiller, Rashad White. You can Jamal Williams. You stack them all, and just like you'll have 6 RBs, and you'll get touches every single week with contingency value. So again, the 12-team home leagues are so much more different than best ball.
Yep,
as we know. Hayden, what do you have coming out this week?
I don't even know what we're doing next week, but I'm sure we'll have shows.
It's the finale, I guess. I didn't say anything. Yeah, it is the finale next week, given that it's Labor Day and then week 1 over the next 2 weeks as we draw very much closer to the actual NFL football. So I don't know don't you have a guide out right now with Josh? Rankings?
We have a draft guide. I have rankings. I'm about to publish my 40 fades. I don't know. I haven't came up with a clever title yet, but players I hate. And yeah, that would be my next post.
Players I hate at ADP. Ian.
No, players I hate.
Oh, okay. Players that actually are terrible people, like Carson Wentz. Ian, what about you?
I got the usual article podcast stream going, but guys, more importantly, PFF app, the PFF Plus Fantasy Football Guide. It's basically our newer version of a fantasy football guide. No, we don't have 300 pieces of paper for you to flip on over, but it's in the palm of your hands. We went through, you can click on a player. We have a cool thing called the Quad Force, where it's like the talent, the opportunity, the offensive environment, and the strength of schedule. We take different stats, help build into that, show you, because at the end of the day, we all kind of end up talking about the same different things. So it's trying to give you, show you the underlying PFF premium statistics that we have. And then at the same time, you can click on myself, Dwayne, Nathan, or Kevin and get our actual analysis on the player. So really proud of what we've come up with. It's like a one-stop shop, if you will, for, I think, the full fantasy profile on a guy, and even have a draft strategy mode that helps assist you along with the draft. So check that out. Free for a week. Absolutely free for an entire week. If you time it up right, you might be able to even get it with your draft. I didn't tell you that, though. Again, PFF Plus Fantasy Football Draft Guide. Check it out.
If you enjoyed Roto World's waiver wire column, it'll be at 4for4.com this year, and you can use a friend's code, Daigle10. I get fuck all from it. So Daigle10, 10% off for a pro discount to read the waiver wire column and get in the chat, which will be behind the paywall per my request this year, to keep start sits out and keep actual big picture analysis in. So until then, next week, final week, we will see you then. Thanks, everyone.